Hello, this is Unit 4, Module 4, Session 2. This home connection is called Unit 4 Review 2. It's a two-pager. Put your name and number on it, please. The table below shows the populations of Austin, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, and San Francisco in the year 2010, before you were born. You're going to use these symbols, or the symbol, or this symbol, to compare the populations of New York City and Philadelphia. So if I wrote like NYC on one side, and I write Philly on the other, Philadelphia, the alligator's going to eat the bigger number unless they're equal, right? So if I look at New York City, I've got 8,175,133. In Philadelphia, I have 1,526,006. Well, 8 million is more than 1 million, so the alligator is going to eat New York City. Nom, 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 nom. Nom, 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 nom. Teeth are optional, by the way. Okay? It says write the population of Chicago in words. So you're going to write 2,695,598. The first, well, depending on which direction you go, but if you move from right to left, the first comma I always say is the word thousand. The next comma is the word million. So I would write 2 million. Then put your comma. 695, comma represents thousand. 690 hyphen or dash 5. What's the comma represent? 1,000, comma 500 98. I gotta scoot over so you can see the rest. 98. Whew. And if you can't fit it all on one line, it's not the end of the world. You can spill it over onto another line, okay? But that's a huge word. The city of Denver, Colorado had a population of 600,158 in the year 2010. Write that in numbers. 600,000. Okay? We know that 600,000 would look like this, but it also says 158. 600,158. We need to combine those. 600,158. I like it when you can find the comma because you can figure out exactly what to write on the left side. 600. 1,000 is the comma, and then whatever comes after. 158. Okay? Seattle had a population of 608,660 in the year 2010. We're going to round these numbers to the nearest 10, the nearest 100, the nearest 1,000. I like this because we know that when I round to the nearest 10, my answer is going to end in a 0. When I round to the nearest 100, it's going to end in 2 zeros. When I round to the nearest 1,000, it's going to end in 3 zeros. Okay? So I have 608,660. Well, why don't we start with the thousands? It's either going to be 608,000 if I round down, right? Or I'm going to round up to 609,000. Okay? So those are my options, and I'll write them down. If it rounds up, it's 609,000. If it rounds down, it's 608,000. How do I know what it is? Well, I look at the previous digit. So if I'm looking at thousands, I'm trying to round to the nearest 1,000, the digit to the right is going to tell me whether I go up or down. If it is a 5 or higher, I round up. If it is a 4 or lower, I round down. That is a 6. It's a 5 or higher, so I'm going to round up to 609,000. Okay? If I'm rounding to the nearest 100, I know I'm going to be ending in 2 zeros. So I'm taking a look at these here. So this is either going to be, and I'm going to write this maybe over here. This is either going to be 608,700, or it's going to round down to 608,600. Okay? Because I'm trying to figure out whether this 660 is going to round up or down. How do I know whether it's going to round up or down? Well, I look at the previous digit. This is the hundreds. That's what I'm rounding to. So I look at the next digit to the right. That's a 6. That's a 5 or higher, so it's going to round up to 608,700. I'm going to let you do this first one on your own, rounding to the nearest 10. You have to ask yourself, is this 60 going to round up to 100 or down to 0? Oh, excuse me. I read that absolutely wrong. Is this does this 60 round up to 70 or does it stay 60? That's almost a trick question, isn't it? If you're going to round to the nearest 0, this number needs to end in a 0. It already does. So that should be a big clue on what your number is going to be. If you're not sure, you can always ask a family member, a friend, or your teacher. But that's an interesting question, the way they did that. Oh, fill in the bubble of what this number would be if you rounded it to the nearest 10,000? Well, we said that rounded to the nearest 0, it ends with, or if it ends in a 0, they've rounded it to the nearest 10. 2 zeros rounded to the nearest 100. 3 zeros rounded to the nearest 1,000. So how many zeros am I going to have on a number that rounds to the nearest 10,000? There should be 4 zeros at the end of that number. Let's see. 1, 2 at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4 at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the end. Interesting. So what are we thinking? If we're rounding to the nearest 10,000, here it is right there. That's either going to stay a 0 or become a 1. I look at the previous digit and see if it rounds up or down. Okay, I'm going to let you decide. Oh, how many? Oh, great. Wow, it's been a while since we've done this, but this is great practice. How many hundreds are in 1,000? Well, we know that like hundreds end in 2 zeros, right? So if I cover up those 2 zeros, what does it say? 10. How do I know? If I took 10 times 100, what would I get? A 1 plus the 3 zeros. Ta-da! I just checked my answer. So 10. How many hundreds are in 7,000? Once again, 100, that's 100. That has 2 zeros. If I cover up 2 zeros, what number do I have? A 70. Could I check my work? 70 times 100 is 7,000. Yep, that works. Got the same number. Okay. How many hundreds are in 10,000? I'm going to let you do that one. Pause this video. It's the same process. However, when we get to number 8, how many thousands are in 38,000? Well, the number, I mean, it's in the answer, but just so we can use the same process. How many thousands? There's 1,000. How many zeros? 3. Cover up 3 zeros. That is your answer. There are 38 thousands in 38,000. Oh, how many 10,000s are in 200,000? Well, let's write 10,000. Okay. That has 4 zeros on the end. Cover up 4 zeros and you'll have your answer. Okay? And I'm going to let you do this one on your own. It says how many 100,000s are in 5 million. Okay? Use the same process to get this answer. Okay, fill in the blanks. Greater, less than, excuse me, less than, greater, or equal. Remember, the alligator has to eat the bigger number. We have kilometers, we have meters. In order for them to match, I either have to get rid of 3 zeros or I have to add 3 zeros, because there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. So if I take 18 and I add 3 zeros, I have 18,000 meters. And then I can compare. Which one's bigger? Nom, 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 nom. The alligator eats the bigger number. Okay? 1,700 grams, 17 kilograms. Okay? You're going to have to convert 17 kilograms. If you add 3 zeros to it, then you can convert it to grams, because there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. I'm going to let you decide whether those are less than, greater than, or equal. 13.5 liters versus 13,500 milliliters. And we know that 1 liter is the same as 1,000 milliliters. Okay? So if I want to make this number match milliliters, then I need to have 13, okay, with 3 zeros added to it. That's 13 liters. What's half a liter? Well, it has to be half 1,000. half a thousand is 500. So I'm going to have to add 13,000 plus 500 to get this number. And then I'm going to let you compare these, whether one is less than, whether one is greater, or they're equal. Okay? During his practice this month, Jeff ran a 10K in 1 hour, 1 minute, 49 seconds, and another in 57 minutes, 53 seconds. How much faster was his second 10K practice? Oh, no, I don't like this. There's a lot going on here. How am I going to figure it out? Oh, no, will I be able to do it? Yep, with a number line. There's a couple other ways you could do it. But I would write the faster race on the left, which would be 57 minutes and 53 seconds. And then on the right, I would do my 1 hour, 1 minute, and what was it? 49 seconds. Okay? So I have to figure out how much faster. So this is a difference equation. Well, I better get up to the nearest minute, right? So I'm going to add 7 seconds. So I'm going to say plus 7s. That's going to give me 58 minutes. Okay? Now, how am I going to get to an hour and 1 minute? Well, plus 2 minutes is going to get me to 1 hour. Okay? How do I get to 1 hour and 1 minute? Well, I'm going to add 1 minute. That gives me 1 hour, 1 minute. Now I have to get to 49 seconds. I know that doesn't really look right, but it has to work. To get from 1 hour and 1 minute to 1 hour, 1 minute and 49 seconds, I need to add 49 seconds. When you combine your 7 seconds, 2 minutes, 1 minute, and 49 seconds, you will have your answer. Man, number lines can be so handy. 13, two-part question. Alex bought a 6-pack of sports drink bottles that each had a volume of 350 milliliters. If Alex drank 3 of them, how many milliliters did she drink? 3 bottles that have 350. You could do it this way. Add them together and get your answer. That'd be okay. How many more milliliters would Alex need to drink to have 2 liters? Oh no. So how many 2 liters? So 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters, right? So that means 2 liters is 2,000 milliliters. So what I'm going to need you to do is take this number and subtract it from 2,000 to get your answer. And that should do. Check you later.